So guys, in this video, we are going to see how we can build a simple interface with two buttons, and when you click on any button, it will change the color and the text as well. And when you click it again, it will get back to the previous state. So when you click on it, it will change the color, and also if you can see the text is also changed. And when I click it again, it get back and print the same thing again. So let's see how we can program this simple program in the Arduino. So before getting into the program, let's just see what we are dealing with. So this is Wt32 sc01, and this is supposed to be very good thing which anyone can buy, but because of their stupid decisions, they actually, I think, obsolete or didn't developed much of the things in terms of the UI. So it's supposed to be drag and drops interface, but all they do is they created some UI stuff only, but the main functionality which is supposed to be there, for example, like connected to the Wi-Fi, reading sensor values and pins, they are not supported that. So I think 2 years ago it was there, but then for some reason they discontinued it. I think due to some licensing, and I don't know. So that's where we are now. And this data sheet is very important because that is the only way you can get to know about your board. So when I programming this, I always tends to refer to this pin layout because the board, I mean LCD is stick on top of the board, and because of that you won't be able to see any pins out. So if you have a board, you know what I'm trying to say. And all the pins mostly working. So I have worked with 32, 33, 27, I think, and from this portion as well. So it worked actually. So when I buy it, I thought that it is not going to work at all, but after a couple of tries, I'm able to make it work. So let's just see what we need to do in order to create any program. So I was working on something like this interface. So I get so many emails regarding the code which I have like for the demo I have uploaded for simulation of two buttons, and I think it's worth creating a video for it. So I will just show you the some basics of the things which might be helpful for you guys to create an interface for it. So it is very simple one. I'm not talking about any graphics and all because I'm really not good at that, but it should give you some overview. So this is the screen of our WT-SC01, WT32 SC01. So main screen starts from here. So 00 is going to be the x-axis and y-axis, and y is responsible for this horizontal space, and I think vertical, horizontal. Okay, vertical is this and horizontal is this. So let's just stick to this. So y value will be like that, which is responsible for the height, and x value will be responsible for the width. That's how I like made up my mind with. So, and the screen is of 3.5 inch, and it has a resolution of 320 by 480. So as you can see, it's in the landscape mode, and my example is also uses landscape mode. So if you want to program using a different portrait mode, then you need to like flip the whole resolution there. But I think you should use landscape because it will give you more region to play with, and it also looks very nice when you use it. So the idea is we are going to create a region, rectangle region, and try to fill it with two buttons. And we will be telling what are the position we are going to create a rectangle on it. So let's just go into the program and see what we have there. So this is our basic program, and I think many for to many users I have also sent the similar program, but it was using a for loop at that time. So I thought that it might be confusing if you are just starting with this. So that is why I have hard coded the values for two buttons, and you can always like create a logic with loops if you want to create a dynamic buttons. So in order to start with this LG, WT32 board, you need to install this particular library, which is LovyanGFX. And if you go to the library, you will find that it already has so many sketches built into this. So let me just show you. When you go to the advanced, no, not advanced, examples, and you go to the library Levon GVX, and there you can see standard things, sprites things, and how to use stuff. But the main problem which I think everyone is facing is they don't have a simple touch program which can actually give you a simulation of touch, and because of which I need to create this video. So that is the only missing link in this particular particular scenario, and I hope I'm able to bridge that gap. So what I'm trying to do is I have just like added a bunch of libraries, and it needs to be like that because when I some examples doesn't have this, and it is not working. I don't know what they are doing. LGFX auto detect is, I think it is using some another library, so maybe it is getting that flag values from there, and it is showing it there. So I didn't go into the depth, but this thing actually working. And I have like added two axes, so X and Y. So our axis, like in our example, this is X and this is Y. So here we are. And now I have like I think I need to use it as a split mode. So we are done with the library. So I think we should close it. How to close it? Okay, I don't know. Let me just pause the video. Okay, so library is gone, and let me just use it as a split screen so that we can have a reference as well. So here you can see I have used Xbox to 20 and Ybox to 20. So what we are doing is we are setting a reference point. So x-axis from x-axis it will be here 20, and from y-axis it will be here. So this is our point from which we are going to draw a triangle. So if you can see, if we when we draw a triangle, it always do like that. So it needs an axis, and then we can draw it. So similar stuff we are going to do here. And then the width, because every rectangle or shape needs a width and height. So we are doing that. So the particular thing which we have here, so it will going to plus 80 to it. So then it will be like x width 80 and xbox 20. So it will go from 20 to 100 here. So this must be 100. And let me just write it, I think. Okay, it's looking horrible. So this is 100. So 0 to 100. And how what will be the height of the rectangle? We are going to define it here. So it will be 40. So it will going to 20 from 40. So this should be the 60th mark. Okay. So 160. So that's how we are defining a rectangle. And margin right will be used for margin between two buttons. So it will be like from here. So 30. We will going to do a plus on 30, and then next button should be render from here. So this is the whole thing which will be used for creating our rectangle. So and again this is the button one clicked true and number of buttons, and this is an array. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using button state for it. So if you have seen the example, so we have a button, and when you click on it, it should remain the same, because when Arduino starts working and get inside the loop, it will keep on running. So if we don't have any state, we are not able to see whether that button is getting clicked or not, because when you change something, it will again change every single time. So you need to have a state which will tell you that whether the button is been clicked or not. So I'm using that for I'm using this Boolean array for that. And number of buttons, I have used two. So because we are using two buttons only, we are using two. So basically what it will do is it will create a reference for every button, and we are going to set it like true, 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 true. When any button will be clicked, it will then going to be false. So that's how it should going to work. So let's see, in setup, we are initializing the serial, and then this is the code for the LCD. We are going to initialize it. Whenever you call this, it will going to blank the whole screen. And this is the code which I have used from the library example, which actually set the orientation of the LCD to landscape. And that is how we are going to see 00 here. And if it is not a landscape mode, then we're going to have a 00 from here. So right now we are here. And then we are setting the 00 cursor here, and then we are just displaying LCD touch row. So it will be showing here only. So now that's here it comes the first button. So before that I was using a loop. So you can just use loop when you started to have understanding about it. So first button will be our true. So we are rendering it and we are setting it to true. True, I mean, it's a state where it is not getting touched at all. So it's a final, I mean, it's the first stage for that. And then we are defining a green color. And then we are filling a rectangle. So we have these values. So one is for x-axis, second for y-axis, and then the width and the height. So as you can see, this is the same things we have used. And this is the color. So it will going to fill a rectangle for us with the dimension and width and height values. So it will going to create our first button, and then after that, what it will do is we need to define text inside too. So we are setting text. So we have y and I mean x and y. So what we are doing is we are getting this particular value because every button will going to have initial state. I mean initial point where it is started to draw. So we are getting that, and then we are adding plus 10 to it. So it will be like 10 here, and from white 10 here. So it will start writing from here. So you can build your own logic if you wants to make it a center and all. But the main problem which you are going to face is when your text increases, it will going to go here and there. So I have not used any dynamic values for it. So it's a straightforward value that it will going to start from here. Now, what we need to do is we need to set a LCD set cursor. So when you do a set cursor, what it will do is it will define the cursor that you need to write from here. So that is the reference point we are going giving. And then the print value. So lcd.println, it will going to print rf1 here. So in that particular, it will start writing here rf1 and it will stop here. So with this code, with this only code, it will going to render one button with text inside it. Okay. And then this is the very important part. Here we need to like shift from one button to another button. So what we are doing is we are doing xbox plus x width. So this will be the value, and then plus x width, which is 80, and then what we are defining the margin right. So then plus another 30. So it will going to start from here maybe, and then it will going to start making stuff. And then again, you don't need to define, I mean, change the y value because y will going to remain the same because we are talking about this row only. When you come to the next row, then only then you have to define y values. But for this particular row, y value will going to be the same. So now I have initialized our second button. So button 1 will going to be there. So 0, 1, we have two buttons. So this is array. So 1 will going to access the second value. And then again, we are defining the green color. We could have used same value, but I have defined it for the reference point. And then again, we are filling the rectangle. And now because X value has been changed, it will going to start from here, and all the values can remain the same because Y value is not changing. And then again, if you want to draw a third button, you need to again call it, and it will going to start from here, and then you can just copy paste the whole code again. So this is the part which is just used for drawing two different rectangles. Okay, so now comes the part where we need to like detect whether anybody touches the button or not. So for touching the button, what we are doing is we are again initializing the Xbox 20. So here you can say that our reference point is there. So in order to detect any touch, how we think of doing that? So whenever you like moving the cursor here, how you can understand that the cursor is here? We like see the reference point. Okay, this is the rectangle and cursor is inside it. And then we see, okay, cursor inside. Okay, then that means it is going to select or hover over this button, right? So in order to simulate the same behavior, what we are doing is we are taking the touch point. So wherever touch has been placed, so we are moving it. So this LCD doesn't supports that. So the only way we are able to see our touch point when you actually click on it. So when you click on it, this is a function. So whenever you are going to touch your LCD, it will going to give you I mean, it will get inside it. So this is the touch, and it will going to give you X and Y axis where your touch has been registered. So for example, if I click on this, so it will going to give me this point. If I going to click on this, it will going to give me this time. So what we need to do is we need to get the reference of this button and match with our touch points. So in order to do that, what I have used is I get the values of X and compared it with our box. So if you remember, we have X box. So this is 20. So this is our main reference point. And what we are saying is if X is greater than equal to X box. So X should be greater than this one. So if you going to click on here, so it shouldn't be a case of this button. So that's the first condition we have. So it should be greater or equal to this particular position. And then X should be less than equal to X dot width, X plus X box plus width. So means X should be less than. So it shouldn't be like here. It should be around here. So we can detect this line with this. And when we add a condition to it, so then we wants to cover this area as well. So for that, we are going to match our Y values for it. So then we can understand that Y is greater than equal to Y box. So again, we are talking about this reference point. And then what we are going to do is Y is less than Y box and Y height. So with this particular condition, we are actually taking the whole region into the comparison. Okay. So when you do that, it will going to have the whole surface of the uh, rectangle, and when you click on it, it will detect it like okay, box has been touched, and now we are going to check for the value. So whether the button is been clicked or not, because it is if you remember, I have used state for true. True means that it is okay to touch. So it's the initial stage. So you can it's been touched, then it will be true. So when it is true, it will print in the serial port box registered, and then it will going to give color green. I mean change the color of box to the green, and then we are setting the text value again with Xbox because it's been initialized to 20. So we are going to start from the scratch Xbox 20 and set cursor, and it is going to print RF selected. So when it is going to like you can see program has been run and you actually clicked on it. So keep looping, and whenever any touch detect, it will get inside, and it will ask for for every loop it has been getting initialized. Do remember that, okay? And then when it is been touched, it will get inside this if condition, and then it will going to check for the condition whether it's a case of button one or not. So for example, if it is a case of button one, so I have clicked on this, so it will get inside it. It will print box touched. It will say box registered, and it will change the button. I mean, it will change the text of the button to RF selected. Okay. So it will not going to get inside the else condition. And then what we are doing is we are changing the state of the button to false. So whatever the value it already have, it will going to change it. So it has been true, so it will become false, and then it is for the testing purpose that whether the we are touching or not. So it is going to print in the, I think, on the middle of the screen, rectangle is touched. Okay, so this is going to be the touch case if button is getting inside. Now, if let's see what will be the case for the second button. So, for example, if you click on the second button, so again loop will go. It will check for Xbox is 20. If it is yes or not. So LCD is getting touched. Okay, then it will ask for. I mean, it will check for the condition for box one, which is this one. So if it is not like touched, so it will print LCD set is not touched. So you don't have to go through this. It is for testing purpose because for every button you don't have to print that. So you can just like avoid it. And then what will happen is it will go to this condition and it will again move your cursor to this cursor here because we wants to like test our condition for this button as well. So it will change the condition. So it is the same condition which we have used while rendering the button for the first time, as you can see. So this will going to be the same. And then again, we now have a different values for Xbox. So again, we are asking for the condition to whether it has been detected or not. And when it is detected, we again looking for the button state. So again, this button is not being touched at all. So it has been true. And then it will go inside and it will print RF selected. And then it will not going to the get into the else condition. And then we are again changing the state and then LCD cursor delay, it will going to print that. So else condition shouldn't be there. Okay. So now what will happen that when it is being already clicked. So what we have done so far, when you click on it, it will change the color and it will print the RF selected. So for example, you can see that both the buttons has been clicked. Now we are pressing the button again. Let's see what how it will going to happen now. So when you click again, it will again set the Xbox to 20. It will get inside, get touch, and then it will ask for the region. And now what you have is it's been clicked already, right? So right now it will going to have a false value for button click one. So that's the first button. So because it will going to have a false condition, it will get inside this. It will say box not register, but you can say that box again registered. And then you are going to fill the color with red. So it will getting back to normal. And then again, we are setting it the position and we are printing it again. So when you click first, if you still remember RF1, so it is going to click that and it will going to print RF selected. When you click it again, it will going to print RF1. So similarly, same thing will again happen. So if, for example, if you click on this one and it has been clicked already, so it will get into this condition. So here it will going to detect whether the button has been clicked. It's been clicked and it is going to show you because it's the second button. So it will going to have a false value. So it will not going to get inside. It will get inside here. So it will print box not registered and it will fill the rectangle to red and the position we will going to set the cursor of the position and what we'll do is we will going to print RF2 here. And then we again what changing the state of it because it's been clicked. So button will going to become true again and then the whole process keep on repeating. So as you can see, it's a little bit complicated, but I think that is the best way I am able to do it. And if you have a better code, please share it. I'm more than willing to test it. But as of now, it's been tested, and I already have a project. I might upload it where I'm creating dynamic buttons, and it is also like doing some stuff like broadcasting RF signals and all. So I have so many projects inside my mind with this particular LCD. So it's a very straightforward project, and I think now you can actually program this with a touch functionality. And yes, I think that's pretty much it. And many users ask me that where to call the code when you select it. So this is the place where you need to get the code. So if you are building a home automation screen, so you can just put your code here. When you click on it, it will going to broadcast something, or maybe calling IFTTT webhooks or something like that. And for off, you can set it here. So these are the two conditions, straightforward, and you don't have to even apply the loop. You can just count it and keep uploading stuff, and maybe count it and render different buttons here, because it is a very small screen. You can actually hard code it the values as well. So there is nothing wrong with that. It will not going to take lots of space on it. So I hope you get some idea and it is of some help for you guys. And let's meet in the next video. Bye. Take care.